My dad's been pranking me since I came home, kind of.
Pranking or punking, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. He listens to New York talk radio, because there's no good talk radio in Florida. It's all conservative whack
People talking about Florida.
Yeah.
It's just people talking about New York from a distance.
So he listens to that, but he rushes into my room every time the O'Reilly Auto Parts jingle comes on, so I can hear it.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Like, Alex, listen to this, and it's always the same commercial.
Very good.
It's pretty good. Suffer like G did. This is episode 228 of Insert Credit, a show where a panel of video game experts responds to whatever nonsense I present them with, to the occasional accompaniment of a horrible buzzer. My name's Alex Jaffe, and I'm here to say I'm asking some questions on the show today.
Oh, crikey, nice.
It's rhyming.
It is rhyming. My name's Frank Cifaldi, and I'm here to say I like to go to sleep at the end of the day.
Okay.
My name is Tim Rogers, and I'm here to say I didn't wake up because I didn't sleep today. That's not as good.
We're all doing today and day, huh?
Yeah, I could do it. Well, that's what I assumed the format was. I assumed you were being very exact with it.
My name's Brandon Sheffield. I'm here to say I don't play pixel games with an overlay.
Hey! Brandon taking an
Very
early
good.
lead. We're bringing back the scoring, by the way. We're bringing back the concept of people winning episodes this week.
All right.
Let's start with a variation on the classic dinner guest question.
Okay.
If you could play a video game with any three people, living or dead, who would they be, and what would the game be?
I would choose living people.
Does it have to be three people in one game?
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
I would play... No, I wouldn't. I was going to try to figure out who I would play Left 4 Dead with, like who would be a good Left 4 Dead team.
Oh yeah, that would be appropriate. Yeah.
It would be, but then I was immediately going to go for like historical world leaders, and then I was probably going to not like my joke pretty soon. So, but I still think Left 4 Dead's a pretty good framework to start with.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the kind of game you'd want to play with friends.
Yeah.
Well, that is like the 4-player.
I mean, I would pick Final Fantasy 14 and then pick like I don't know what three dudes would be cool enough to pick to play Final Fantasy 14 with.
Lil Nas X.
Living or dead is a little bit too broad. Living I can handle, but you give me dead, there's a lot of those guys.
There's a lot of them.
Well, I'm struggling because I don't like anyone.
That's good. Just say you would play Joe Montana Sports Talk Football with Joe Montana and John Elway and
Joe Montana.
And John Madden,
who
did not design that one.
Yeah, excellent. Just say something like that. That's the kind of answer I was leaning toward. And then I was like, I don't know.
Oh, you know what? No, I do Sports Talk Football. I would have Pat Summerall there for sure.
Oh, yeah, Sports Talk.
Because he was the voice, I believe, in Sports Talk Football. And to me, that is the voice of football. Well, I guess it's the Pat Summerall, John Madden combo, if I'm being honest. So I get the two of them and some kind of wild card there, right? Like, who's my wild card with those two?
Joe Montana.
It could be Joe Montana, sure. He just does not seem like a very interesting person.
I think that helps because those two guys would be like, but Joe, you back in the 1986, you did
you ever
this.
see that video on Twitter of Joe Montana talking about how the person he envies most in the world is Huey Lewis of Huey Lewis and the News?
Yes.
What? No.
You didn't see that?
Please explain this.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I
I
retweeted it. So let me see if I can find it. I don't tweet anymore, so it's probably pretty easy to find.
All right, so I would play Rock Band with Joe Montana and Huey Lewis and third guy.
Joan Jett.
Oh.
Joan Jett. Perfect.
Joan Jett.
I want to play something online with Joan Chen, Rutger Hauer, and Christopher Lambert.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I just want to hear all them saying stuff like...
From your favorite films.
I want to hear them just say weird stuff.
I've decided on my serious answer. Whenever anybody's ready for it, I can hit you with it. My answer is I would want to play video ball with. I mean, this is I think the perfect answer because it's my game and I understand enough about it, I believe, to decide who I'd want to play it with. I would want to play video ball with John Madden, R.I.P., Napoleon Bonaparte, R.I.P., and Lewis Hamilton. That's who I would want to play video ball with. That's my final answer. And we would just rotate teams. We would have just random teams, so we're just all experiencing it.
What if one of them didn't like it?
Oh, they would all like it.
What if the four of us played a game, like on Twitch? Is that something people would like?
Some people would like it.
Somebody would.
There's probably someone out there who would be into that.
Let's talk about that at another time.
I wonder if any one of us has every single video has about 84,000 video games plugged into a streaming setup that works with the touch of a button, unlike
Probably
the
nobody.
setup I have for this microphone in Discord. My streaming setup is solid. I don't know about this thing.
Here's my next topic.
All right.
Sifu is a video game which attempts to mechanically implement the concept of your character aging.
Mm-hmm.
What is the best way for video games to accomplish this effect?
I'm just going to say I see right through that gimmick. That was my British accent. So
Yeah.
I like it, though. It's good. It's cool. Wait, what was the question about it, though? About the
How
gimmick?
do you do aging in video games effectively?
I'll say a way to not do it effectively. I've heard tell the original Wizardry games your characters age.
Oh, yeah.
But they, not only do they age until they die.
Yeah,
and not
rules.
only do they age until they die, they age at different rates.
Well, that owns.
I don't know why both of those are stats.
You should tell Neil deGrasse Tyson about that. He'll do a Twitter thread.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You'll go crazy on it.
You're talking about the Hulk today.
I think the best way to do it is, like in your Fallouts, is that you keep everyone's body the same. So everyone's like really fit and has like sexy hourglass boobs, whatever situation going on. But then you give them a face that's like an 80-year-old. I think that's the best way to do
That
it.
owns. Dude.
Yeah. Fable 1 style.
Yeah.
I've seen. I think it would be real cool. You know, in Animal Crossing, you don't play for a couple of days. You come back and there's like cockroaches.
Yeah,
right?
They should all grow beards.
Well, I just think aging is like the cockroaches in your house of real life. So I think if you go into if you leave Animal Crossing alone for a week, you go back, the game has like added wrinkles to like every single NPC.
Yeah.
And then if you leave it alone for like a year, you come back and they just look like mummies. They look straight up embalmed.
Just slap a beard on there. That's all you got to do. So
Big, long, white beard trailing on the ground.
Put a beard on everybody.
They don't know to shave unless you log into the game.
That's right.
Like, it's not in their program.
And instead of the cute little sounds when they talk, it's this bit crushed, like extended, like whammy barred wheezing. Just... And it's just like extended really, really long. And it's just very, very creepy.
Oh yeah, people would love that.
Not necessarily aging, but generational stuff is done pretty well in that Crusader Kings game where you got like, I don't know, now my son needs to marry this pope so that I can stop a war in Crimea, whatever.
I think that game's better than the game Crusade Kings by a long shot.
Oh, yeah, it's
Get
even
it, guys,
more
because it's Crusader.
Yeah, it's not as good as Crusadist King. Is it better than Crusader Senti?
Crusader of Senti. You mean Soleil or Ragna Senti?
Right.
The game. It's a game so nice they named it thrice. I think my favorite instance of a character aging is still Dragon Quest V, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's the best one. I think they nailed it the best.
What happens in there?
There's this really fun prologue where you're a child, and the prologue lasts a little bit longer than some more knuckleheaded individuals are eager to experience. It's it takes its time. It luxuriates in the whole you're a child and your dad is really cool thing. And then through a series of events, you wake up in jail 5 years later. So it's kind of cool.
Blammo.
And then they do it again 2 more times in the game. So that's pretty cool. I also think Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistrals has a real good there's no aging evident though. The character doesn't visually change, but it skips forward several years at one point in the plot, which you just don't expect from that exact video game. And it felt very virtuosic and master-strokishly.
I think we've talked about this on here before, but something that I don't really like, which is more of a generational shift thing, is how so many JRPGs, especially in the 90s, were like, in the past, there was a demon, and then we all had to work together to fight it, and then it was gone. But now... it's coming back, and the grandson of the hero has to try to be the hero. It's like, why don't you just do the first one?
It's a
like
thing,
that,
man. It's a thing.
Why do you explain the premise so that I can go relive the premise? Like, I don't know.
Are you mentioning this because so when Lufia 1 did that, it was in the press when Natsume published it. They really hyped up the fact that it's got a flashback in the beginning with different characters, but that actually wasn't the gimmick of that game. That game was actually a really, really like curious investigation of why that's a trope. And the story that then plays out does very, very interesting things with the idea of legendary heroes killed the great evil X number of years ago. It's really neat.
Yeah, I wasn't disparaging Lufia with that.
I was sure you weren't. It is a trend, and it is something that Lufia was very prescient of. And then they went ahead and just made the game about the people killing the great evil, which is hilarious. And it's a much better game, which is weird.
I don't know if this counts as aging, but I think what's most effective to me is seeing the world around me change over time.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know if a jump forward in time counts as aging or not, but I'm just thinking of, I guess what's coming to mind for me, because you were talking about Dragon Quest V is Mother 3, which is kind of a similar game.
It's kind of a good jump.
And it has that time jump, and you see how your small town is changing as time jumps.
That is an incredible implementation of that particular thing. Maybe the best one ever in video games.
Near to Near Automata is also pretty cool. When you see like areas that you saw in Near in Automata, and it's like now 2,000 years later.
Oh wait, the best aging mechanic in a video game ever is when you have your PlayStation 3 and your Xbox Series X plugged into the same HDMI switcher, and you boot up or Near Gestalt and Near Replicant at the same time, and then you flip between them.
Nice.
That's my convoluted answer.
I'm not even going to ask any follow-up questions to that. I'm going to go into the next one. What's the stupidest argument you've ever been part of over a video game?
Oh, man.
That's hard to
Well,
choose.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I have, believe it or not, I've consciously avoided all of what I consider to be the stupidest arguments. So you're asking me to select the one that I did take part in. So that's a good question.
Yes.
Boy, I wish I could remember. That's the key to this one, is remembering stuff.
I don't really argue anymore. Like I have opinions. Sometimes I state them. If someone offers a counter argument that is reasonable, I go, okay. Otherwise, I just kind of ignore people. I don't know.
I remember one from elementary school.
Oh, those are good ones.
Yeah, I had an Intellivision, and other kids had an NES. I had an Intellivision because my dad bought it at a thrift store for $20 with 40 games.
You know what your dad should have done is he should have just kicked you in the nuts. Like, no offense.
He probably should have done that. But some kids were like, the NES is way better than the Intellivision. And I was like, that's probably true. And they were like, no, it's so much better because blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I bet you're right. And they're like, no.
Oh, yeah, this is a common argument among adults these days, actually. this kind of logic.
Yeah, it was an incredibly stupid argument because I was agreeing with them and they were like, no, really?
Yeah.
I had an argument, or I stepped in once where there were two kids ganging up on my friend who said he owned Bart versus the Space Mutants for Nintendo. Yeah. And I knew he didn't, but I stepped in and said, well, maybe he does. Does that count? That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That's pretty stupid.
This kid lied about everything. Everybody knows the kid on the playground who just lies about having stuff, right?
Oh, I had one.
Not even the uncle at Nintendo. Just like wild amounts of stuff.
I had a kid at summer camp who used to lie about having Dragon Ball GT Final Bout and would make up all these features in the game that weren't actually in there.
That's very specific.
Imagine stepping in and imagine being at that point in history, Dragon Ball GT Final Bout's like foremost expert.
Yeah.
Right? And then stepping in and go, maybe that stuff is in there. Because people were like, you've been to his house. Have you seen Bart versus the Space Mutants? And the kid looks at me like he just got like electric shocked in the back of the head, and he just like looks at me, and I'm just like, man, I don't know, maybe he does. I don't know. I haven't been over there for a while. It was horrible. Bart versus the Space Mutants, Lord. This kid also said there's a flying code for Super Mario Brothers 1. And you get the raccoon suit in Mario 1. Crike.
Sure, if you plug in the Mario 3 cartridge.
Yeah.
Mario 3 and Knuckles.
And then play the Mario 1 music out of a boombox.
Exactly. You get what I'm talking about. This is a very broad question, but how much does it cost to make a video game?
$6.
According to like the people on the internet, like 1/100th to 1/1000th of what it actually costs.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Something like that. Remember that Skullgirls thing where people were getting mad at how much it cost to make a new character and they had to like post a breakdown or whatever. You remember that? I remember looking at that and going, that seems right. This is good. I want to take notes here for, my own future interest in having a business of some sort because this seems right.
I don't think there's a way to calculate it without just figuring out the burn rate of a worker and then how long tasks will take, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then it's, well, I know it's a broad question, but it's like, there's a lot of different kinds of video games.
Yes.
So let's, I guess, go on our own experiences, right? Like, how much has our stuff cost?
I know how much my stuff has cost and how much it should have cost. And I would say that we might be able to genericize it by saying that a video game costs as much as the people need to live and be comfortable enough during the duration of the development of the video game. So that's
what it should cost. It usually costs less than that.
Yeah, usually it costs less than that, and sometimes it costs more than that even though you don't want it to.
I'm trying to do up some quick math here to try to, let me see.
I mean, I could just throw out some budgets that I remember.
Please.
We did a Sharknado game on iOS that I produced, and that was me in Manila. That was just me and a bunch of contractors. And it was a 3-month production, very hectic, and I believe the budget was about 150, maybe 200K. And that's just a short game. Like, that was a nothing.
Yeah, that's a very simple, endless runner of a game.
And it's like 5 years ago.
And it was built on top of an existing game. So, like, that, it's still, like, it's still that much money to, employ people. The first Mega Man Legacy Collection, I think, was like 350K. It should have been about 500. Those are the ones that but I don't remember SNK, unfortunately. I have no idea what that budget is.
And this is all stuff that isn't built from scratch. This is all you restoring material that already exists or changing it in some way.
Like with Legacy, it was just, building an emulator from scratch and building the wraparound for it. I mean, there was scratch stuff, but it wasn't the game.
Exactly.
Sharknado a little bit was the game, but it was, recycling a lot of the physics and the engine. And that's, again, that was outsourced labor too. So
yeah, I don't think I can say how much my budgets have been without getting into trouble. But I mean, I would say that historically, myself and everyone that I know have been asking for too little. I'm going to stop doing that. I have stopped doing that starting now, and I'm going to see how that goes and if we can actually do it. But like, I can say that I do not want to make a game, an original video game, for under $1.5 million ever again.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have 6 people in my studio right now. I want to have 10, because right now we're doing 10 people's worth of work with 6 people is what's happening. I get paid myself. I get paid about $34,000 less than the median income for the Bay Area.
Youch.
And, I would like to get a little more. I would like to pay everyone else a little bit more. And in order to get to those levels, like, you just can't make games for less than that, especially if it's taking more than a year.
Yeah, you need a real hot blast of money.
Yeah, so it's weird to talk about it like that because, like, I'm never gonna get $1 million for myself, but $1 million spread across 10 people across 2 years is like not that much money, which is bizarre. So, that's the kind of stuff I'm thinking about right now.
Tim, how's your math going?
Okay, I dropped a little formula in the chat. I'll explain what this is. This is a formula for determining roughly the budget of any PlayStation 2 era video game that was developed in Japan, which is average age of developer times number of developers times 100 times 18 plus the CEO's yearly salary times 1.5.
What's the 18 for?
It's 18 months. It's average 18 months development time. So the idea is that in Japan they have something called Nenkyu, where they offer employees, most of whom are arubaito or contract or like part-time employees. They offer them their monthly salary would be their age times $100, just roughly, just ballparking it. So if you're 25, you get $2,500 a month. I mean, when I worked at Grasshopper Manufacture in Tokyo, Japan, on their AAA-ish video games, They're let's call them 2.8A video games. When I worked on their 2.8A video games, I came in there at age 28 and I was getting paid $2,800 a month, which was not that much in case you didn't know that. That's not a lot of money. So that's roughly how much I was made to understand that that's roughly how much you got paid in Japan at around that time for video games. Fun to know, huh?
Yeah.
And if the average age of the developers is they try to keep it at around 28. So, joke's on me.
So I think this looks right, except for it has to be in that era. So
in that particular era.
Adjusted for inflation, this would be a different number.
Then again, every time I look at the rent prices in Japan, which is frequently because New York is nightmarish, I notice the rent has not moved like a yen in either direction for the neighborhoods I look at. So maybe it's the same now. Who knows? That's weird. There's some countries stuff just works right.
Did I show you that house for sale in Koenji that I saw?
No.
I think I texted it to you, but you can't look at your texts or whatever. But it will depress you because though it was a very small house, it was about 450 square feet, 2 floors.
Mm-hmm.
It was $55,000 to purchase. Can you believe that?
That's pretty good, Jerry. 450 square feet ain't bad. That's New York royalty right there.
If you knocked it down and put a 3-story building in there, and you're in business.
That's about the size of my apartment. Here is a segment I like to call the Adaptation Game. This is when I name something that you have to adapt into a video game. This week, we are adapting the OSHA handbook into a video game, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration Guidelines.
Oh yeah, those guys.
This must have been done in the serious games world at some point.
It's got to have been.
Right.
Is it basically like Wrecking Crew with Mario? Because it's all about what kind of boots you got to wear, right?
I don't know if anybody else has been in this scenario, but I did not know what OSHA was before I heard it about 500 times because I was working on a construction site.
Oh, really?
And I was like, what is this thing they're talking? I thought it was like ocean without the N.
I keep hearing the manager being like, I got OSHA breathing down my neck about these
exactly.
bad boots I've provided the kids.
Who is OSHA? Maybe we shouldn't talk to them then.
Can a guy just buy Payless boots for his workers?
Oh, baby, you guys want to see a screenshot of the real OSHA video game?
Yeah,
is there one?
Season 4. Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing it's like Football Manager.
Oh,
hey, there it is.
Incredible.
That guy's pants are blending into the... He doesn't have pants. Wait, does he have legs? He's transparent.
He has legs.
He's
got
there's
legs. A black leg behind the...
It's an optometric
Let's
nightmare.
describe this for the audience, right? So there is a man with a cart, and he is apparently cleaning up a spit.
He's got ammonia and bleach.
So there is a... required PPE sign in the back, so you always know. You don't have to look up the manual or whatever. It looks to me like he is about to mix ammonia and bleach and die.
Yeah, he's going to get straight
He should do it.
Yeah.
No, he shouldn't.
I'm not going to lie, he's going to get blowed up.
He's got a couple car batteries on there. I like how empty the rest of it is. Like, this room exists only for a spill to be
for that
of.
urine stain over there to be there.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Is the website still up? Oh, baby. You can still download it.
Oh, man.
Oh, here's the official website.
It's all coming together.
We might have found the first insert credit stream game.
Hasfinder.
It's only 70 megabytes.
It's called Hasfinder.
That rules.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be playing this before our 6 minutes is up. My guarantee to you.
Incredible. Yeah. Esper will provide this in the show notes.
I'm chilling with it. Hasfinder?
Oh, there's a text-based version.
For those who don't prefer the thrilling realism of the...
I can select a scenario from 4 scenarios, including manufacturing, construction.
You find yourself in an empty room. There is a puddle on the floor. Obvious exits.
I'm going straight to emergency room.
Right.
Oh, indeed. You are the head of Sacred Heart Hospital, a mid-sized ER operating in the middle of the suburbs. Your goal is to ensure that your workers remain safe.
Oh,
Can
hey.
you choose owner or worker at that one? Because I could.
Nope.
That's so funny.
I'm just the head of Sacred Heart Hospital.
That's the name of the hospital from the sitcom Scrubs.
Oh, no. Can you imagine walking into a job and they go, so do you want to be a worker or the owner? Can you imagine that? That'd be so cool, dude. Hey kid, want the keys?
But they didn't do a lot of work on this text version, I gotta say.
All right, I'm going to investigate the guillotine shear.
Okay. How does that go?
Dangerous.
Faulty electrical wiring or damaged power cables can expose workers to electricity. Severity 5, exposure 3. So there's some kind of numerical danger stuff here going on. Oh, and I spent 1 action already.
I wonder if you should be using your OSHA handbook to along with this as kind of a guideline.
It is an option, but I don't want to.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think I just quit on accident. Construction. Okay.
The only way to
I don't know how to die like the guy in the screenshot.
You know the guy who was the art director for Silent Hill 2 and who did all the Silent Hill 1 CG entirely by himself, wound up doing serious games after that. I don't think he worked on this OSHA game, but he
No, this does not look like Silent Hill.
No, he did some pretty good
I mean, I really think you could do a pretty good OSHA video game that is Silent Hill, basically. I mean...
okay, when you say is Silent Hill, do you mean the horror aspect?
The horror aspect, yeah.
Okay.
I think it I mean, you could really just make a really atmospheric, horrific video game where you're a janitor. Just basically take this OSHA game and just give it like a Konami PS2 era budget and, which we already have the formula for that.
Right.
So... Yeah. And then you can have a pretty good time. I think you can have a pretty darn good time. Make yourself a Silent Hill 2 quality game for like $400,000. That's what I think. And I mean, it would just be horrible. It's like you encounter a bottle and the guy picks it up and goes, "Should I drink this?" And then you choose yes, and he drinks it. And then like the word just poison slowly fades in on the screen as the guy screams and dies.
Just instantly skeletonized.
Yeah. Oh!
And I love that the first screenshot we saw in this article is a guy about to mix ammonia.
Oh,
and
man.
There's like a green gas coming from his ankle as well. I don't know if that's related.
Maybe it would be like a Saw-like story where you're like trapped in a room and there's a guy who's like constantly offering you like cryptic clues for a puzzle, like to how to get out of the room and like mix the contents of those 2 bottles.
Yeah.
If you wish to
I was going to
leave.
say it's all to OSHA standards.
Yeah.
He's just not telling you every OSHA rule because you're supposed to know.
And every time you die, you have like some sort of communion in some spectral church where the OSHA pastor explains to you what you did wrong to die and how you'll get another chance.
I have good news. If you play as owner, you can earn profit each turn based on your hours remaining. $800 an hour.
$800 an hour, Lord.
If you play well, you can end up with over $250,000. How much can you earn?
It's a good question.
Sounds like this owner thing is the career path of choice.
Yeah, it's starting to come together.
I'm not really seeing much advantage to playing as worker.
When I was a kid, we had cowboys and astronauts on TV. They should have had owners.
Yeah. Something to ruminate on as we go into the break.
You know what is a thing you can ruminate on is if you're a home owner, you can ruminate on the rooms in your home. That's a good joke from me. That's a real good one.
It's a solid one, yeah.
Ruminate. That's all I've got. Thank you. I'm gonna go to bed now. That's a joke.
Good enough.
Welcome back to Insert Credit. I'm Alex Jaffe, here with the usual knuckleheads. It's time to dive into the dirtbag. If you subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/insertcredit, you can get the opportunity to submit your own questions for this very segment. Also get occasional bonus episodes, other neat treats coming down the pipes. This week's question comes from Anonymous, who says,
Ooh.
I recently had a job interview for a video game-related position in which I was asked, if your personality was a video game, what game would it be and why? How the hell was I supposed to answer this?
Oh,
that's weird, dude.
That is weird. I think mine is a little game called Has Finder. You can download it on OSHA.gov.
Nice.
I guess the only way to talk about how one should answer this question is to try to answer it ourselves off the top of our heads.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So is it which video game or like what would a video game be like? What was the exact wording?
The exact wording was, if your personality was a video game, what game would it be and why?
Oh, okay.
I think mine's probably like Gran Turismo 2.
Yeah?
Because it had a lot of cars in it. and the menus, they looked nice but didn't function very well, and the loading times were long. And it was just paraphernalia. And it had some real good music. And if you played it in America, it also had some real bad music. And you could drive a Subaru, which I can do as well, even though I don't. I don't have one.
If I were trying to talk myself up, I'd be like, my personality is Disco Elysium because it's interesting and has good writing.
I would say my personality is Dark Souls because I can learn to anticipate the patterns of my bosses.
Oh, interesting.
I'm trying to get the job.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to do.
Okay, I'm just going to assume it's just a very normal adult. And I'm going to be like, Super Mario Brothers. And be like, why? And be like, because I'm always charging forward and trying my best, and I want to be the hero.
Getting that coin.
I can adapt to any situation.
Pride yourself in being able to leap over obstacles as they come at you.
And then I demonstrate that out in the yard, because there's a yard.
Yeah. And then later you can be like, also, I'm Italian. And then they'll be like, oh, that's a good answer. Ha, 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 ha.
Wahoo! And then you just like clench your lips together and go until your face is like bright red. And then suddenly a huge mustache pops out. and you go, how about that? And you slap the table. And then they're just like all freaked out, like they can't say anything. And you slap the table again. And everybody's cup of coffee is falling over because they've got tall mugs. Right? Is that what's happening?
That's exactly what's happening, yes.
Eventually, not immediately.
But it stains their linen trousers. Like, you stained my linen trousers, you dirtbag. You burlap Jerry. I motion to call the letters from the dirtbag come from burlap Jerry's.
Burlap Jerry's. That's pretty
because
good.
They're in the sack.
So anyway, I think you're supposed to do be a little more strategic than me, I guess. Although you are asked to answer this immediately, but think about what a boss wants to hear, and you'll get the job instead of just actually talking about yourself.
You gotta choose a game they've heard of too.
I believe that boss was trying to rile you up and get you to say something cheesy. See how quickly you can say something like corny, basically. I mean, it was probably a playful joke question, I'm assuming, right? So something like Frank's Super Mario Brothers answer is clearly correct. You're not supposed to be honest during a job interview, right?
No.
I don't interview for jobs. I just walk in and start acting weird, and then they decide to pay me, usually. So I mean, I don't know what I would do with a question like that.
There's a lot of video games where you do that.
Don't say Sonic the Hedgehog, because I always gotta go fast, and sometimes I just don't. Sometimes you just don't understand where I'm going.
No, it's I always gotta go fast to the bathroom because I don't want the company to be spending money on me pooping.
And I fall in the water all the time.
That's wage theft.
I would be Sniper Elite because I pride myself on accuracy.
Oh, very good. Hitman. That would be it. I get the job done by any means necessary, and then I do it again a slightly different way. And I bring all of the results to you and ask you to choose one, and then you don't choose one. You just publish all of them. And then I get a reputation as a person who just writes too much stuff. And now I'm stuck with it.
Yeah.
And I got to make these videos the way they are instead of the way a normal person would. So that's probably the right answer for me, is a Hitman game.
I'm Team Fortress 2 because I'm accustomed to wearing many hats.
Very good.
I don't think many employers would actually appreciate Tim's doing the job by any means necessary. I think that sounds incredibly threatening.
Yeah.
By any means. I'm talking kill him with a stapler. The job it's a killing job, right? Is it one of the kill jobs? Or is it my
They didn't specify. I mean, I guess it could be whatever.
Is it one of those video game industrial espionage jobs where you're sent to kill rival game designers, take them down?
It might be one of those interviews where you're interviewing to be the owner.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Or do you want to be an employee or the owner? Final question of the interview. You've done well so far. Would you like to be the worker or the owner? Owner, please. Oh, okay. Well, I guess then we weren't going to hire you because quite frankly, your interview question answers sucked. But now that you say you want to be the owner, we realize we kind of can't. We can't not hire you. So
right, you're our boss. How do we say no to you?
Yeah, we can't say no.
I hope you will continue to employ me at the conclusion of this job interview.
Come on in. If you don't like me, you can find a gun in the top drawer of your desk. Thank you.
By the way, my video game personality is
bonk.
Oh no, I was being the guy who's still trying to keep his job. He was going to say what his personality was from a video game to keep his job.
I would say my corny thing that I would say off the top of my head in the vein of Frank's answer is if my personality were a video game, it would be Parappa the Rapper, because I gotta believe I'm the right one for this job.
Nice.
I would first make sure the guy seemed cool enough to have played Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah.
It seems like a deep cut enough reference for, most people-ish,
Yeah. The creators of the Paramount Plus Halo television series recently claimed they approached this adaptation by considering the documented lore and backstory of the Halo series without attempting to capture any feeling from the actual video games themselves.
That's neat.
How effective can this approach be in video game adaptation?
Video game adaptation into
passive mediums such as film or television.
Okay, so they went into all the deep lore.
Yeah.
That's what you said?
Yeah.
But they didn't what?
They were like, we're not thinking about this as a video game. We're not trying to capture the feeling of playing a Halo game. We're telling a Halo story.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's always the way to approach a franchise. Like, even if you're making like a new, I don't know, Star Trek show, I don't think the way you approach it is to make a Star Trek show. I think you make a show that's in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
And you just make the show that is good. I think that's a great way to make a video game movie. I think that's exactly, or show, sorry.
Either one.
The Mandalorian Season 1. I still haven't watched Season 2 or The Book of Boba Fett or any of the other shows that I'm starting to detect are all just not going to escape that one setting. I feel like the first season of The Mandalorian is like just a good example of how you should make something based on a video game, because it basically is a video game adaptation at that point. Star Wars is a video game. Deal with it.
Pretty much.
It pretty much is.
Ever play something called Star Wars Trilogy Arcade? There you go.
Video games have so much Star Wars in them in general. I feel like if you were to make I just thought of a Destiny TV show, and I realized we're talking about a Halo TV show. How weird is it that they're making that Sony now owns the makers of Halo, the original makers of it, and there's Destiny's also. Destiny's cool, dude, in terms of the lore stuff. It's like Space Conan. I don't know, man. It's pretty neat. What am I talking about? I think you just chill in the universe. The stupid Joker movie is like also a blueprint for it. I think you can have people just go ballistic and bonkers if you just pick a really narrow viewpoint, right? A really narrow scope, and then
go in one direction.
Imitate a film genre or whatever. I mean, like that's how that Joker movie made. It's like $7 trillion, something like that.
Something like
Academy Award. Go vegan with your coffee creamer, like whatever it was. Like, and now nobody uses milk in their coffee anymore because of Joaquin Phoenix's acceptance speech.
Yeah,
did you notice that?
I mean, I've never seen an episode, but I know like Smallville was incredibly successful as an adaptation of Superman, and it was not, it wasn't Superman. It was like a teen drama, I believe.
It was narrow. It just focuses on.
It was Buffy.
Yeah, it's neat stuff. So I feel like for a video game, you do something like that. You just do something Joker style. It doesn't have to be, extremely dark, serious thing. You just narrow your scope down and just have a good time. If they were to make like a Dark Souls movie or whatever, you just make it about like one of the weird NPC quests. Yeah. And then they meet the Dark Souls questing, journeying knight at one point in the story. Much like the Joker meets young Bruce Wayne at one point in the stupid Joker movie, right? Like, just make it like that, and then everyone just in the audience just like bursts into applause, and nobody can hear the rest of the movie. Like, you just do it like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think the blueprints are there. You just like art it up a little bit. I just want to say I loved that stupid Warcraft movie, dude. Did either of you guys see that, or any of you guys see that? Forgot there's 3 people here.
No, I intend to eventually, because at some point I want to do like a roundup of best and mediocrest video game movies.
Yeah, I'd like to do that too.
I'm going to watch that eventually, but I haven't yet.
Yeah.
I just have no frame of reference for that world, so
I don't think you'd need it. It's just like there's orcs.
Well, then
and
why
stuff.
am I not just watching a real movie? Like there's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Return of the Jedi. I'm not going to watch Warcraft.
God, that's so weird. The Warcraft movie kind of does feel like a real movie, though.
Okay.
It kind of does. It's just, I'm a real big fan of like bland-ish, big budget Hollywood fantasy style movies. I love John Carter, for example. But I mean, again, I wouldn't recommend that if you're trying to make a successful or beloved adaptation of something.
Yeah, I did not like that.
I was going to say you're a fan of that franchise.
Yeah, I love John Carter in general. Yeah, I love those books. Are so weird. I read them as a kid. Yeah, I can't disavow having read them as a child, so I might as well own up to it. Loved those books. Loved all of the Edgar Rice Burroughs Tarzan stuff. All full of weird, problematic themes and such, but a heck of a craft on it. And I guess that Warcraft movie reminded me of that sort of thing. I also liked that Conan, the Jason Momoa Conan movie. Mm-hmm. I loved that, man. Can we just say that movie ruled? I read all the Conan books about 8 times each, all the stories. That Conan movie's cool, man. I'm sorry. I know we all hated on it because it didn't have Arnold, and the John Milius one is the be-all, end-all, but that was the Conan books in a movie, and it was cool. And it sucked, but I loved it. So who cares? So make it just basically don't make them like those movies. Don't make them like Conan, John Carter, Warcraft, or Gods of Egypt. Just make them like The Mandalorian or what's it called? Joker. Mandalorian and Joker are the blueprint if you want people to just burst out impressed at your thing. So we have a lot of Hollywood executives listening to this podcast, I think. So we're about to see a really good crop of video game movies.
How can you tell from the contents of a European game that it was made in Europe?
Just the names of the characters, or like Bibbly Bonk or whatever, or Bibbly.
I mean, that's true in the old days, right? Like it's really easy in the I don't know the microcomputer era, right? Like like the Amiga times. It's really easy to spot a British game.
Bouncing collectibles.
It's a bouncing, rotating collectibles. It is the vibrato, I believe is the term in the music, when it just screeches at you really hard and vibratey. Lots of stuff to collect. It's not just that they're floating and spinning and bouncing. Like you got to collect a lot of it for no reason.
Really over animated main character.
That's interesting. Okay.
Oh yeah. Is Vectourmaun British? No, Vectourmaun's not British.
No, it's made in Marin County.
Oh, the doors have officially been blown off now.
No. So if Vectourmaun was British, it would be spelled with a U.
Yeah, Vectourmaun.
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 Yeah, I think it's Vectourmaun.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So you can tell a game was made in Europe if it kind of tries way too much narrative stuff for the budget to pull off. I believe there's a derogatory-ish insult word for this, Eurojank. That's usually what people talk about nowadays, right? I made it through my whole 9-hour video series on Cyberpunk without invoking the phrase Eurojank even once, which I feel proud of.
Congratulations.
I think it also depends, like, on the country, because if there's something that has, like, an overwrought narrative and a lot of high concept stuff, it's like, oh, that's probably French. But if it's like, this is a game about the intricacies of farm equipment, you're like, well, that's a German game if I ever saw one.
Oh man, so I guess the if you look at Ubisoft, right? Ubisoft has their studios in Paris. Rayman, that's a French game, right?
You know it.
But Assassin's Creed, they made that in Montreal.
Yeah, that's a French-Canadian game.
You can just tell.
Yeah.
Something to do with the nature of the character. I think, who in one of them is very historically accurate, sort of Viking or pirate or Egyptian bounty hunter or Greek warrior, and then in the other one it's a cartoon character with just bobbling limbs that animate way too much.
The question was specifically British, right?
I said European.
He said European.
Yeah, Euro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Euro Truck Simulator, that was made in Europe, right?
What is it about Sea of Thieves that's immediately British?
Yeah, there's
a character squeezing a squeeze box, like
the squeeze box,
like 1 second in, you're in a pub where someone's like squeezing a squeeze box accordion.
I think time to trope makes something really British. Like when the time to trope is very, very low, it feels British. They immediately go for some kind of a stereotype really fast, I feel.
Yeah.
Even in the bigger, more 3D games. Although I guess Rocksteady doesn't do that, so. I wish I had a better way to frame this. Sometimes you really just do feel it, like when you're watching a...
Yeah.
I've talked about this, but like when you're watching a VHS tape or a straight to DVD movie, if anybody can still get hold of those, and there's something supposed to take place in New York, and it's like 100% just downtown Toronto, and the dudes are being like, watch out!
Yeah.
And, we got to go over there to get the Statue of Liberty there. It's just like, I love it. But sometimes you can tell even just because they're like, okay, let's have everyone wear normal clothes, and everyone is wearing like plaid and puffer jackets. It's like, okay, this is made in Canada. I love that stuff.
You ever see Jackie Chan's Rumble in the Bronx?
Yes, very good.
Where it's like clearly like Vancouver.
Yeah.
I'd never even been to the Bronx when I saw that movie. I was like, this doesn't look like New York. Just something felt wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably fooled somebody, but I was real tough and I could do a lot of push-ups.
They were trying to pull Vancouver on me.
Yeah. They pulled Vancouver on me. Yeah, that's what they did.
I'll tell you what's immediately French is those rabbits.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can't stop the France.
I mean, you ask like 9 out of 10 French people to draw a rabbit. That's what they draw.
That's what they draw.
Ask them to draw any character, and that's what they draw.
Hugo? Is Hugo French?
Draw me a picture. Draw me a picture of your mother.
Hugo's got to be Belgian. Hugo's got to be Belgian because it's like French, but a bit off. So let's find out if Hugo's Belgian.
Okay.
Who's Hugo? Alexa,
is Hugo Belgian?
You ever get really afraid that there's an Alexa in your house and you just don't know?
I do.
It's like I actually have a couple of smart speakers in this house.
They just sneaked one in.
Because I have them for like my rear channels for my my sound setup. Because I can't being here in New York, Manhattan, I can't just have like a big old boom-in home theater. I can't go crack open a fresh case of Best Buy Magnolia in this room. I have to just make do with a soundbar and 2 little speakers.
Hugo's Danish.
All right, Danish. That's close. All right. What is the seizing in your leg after you wake up that indicates you're about to experience a horribly painful leg cramp over the next 30 seconds of video?
Oh, man.
Yeah. I guess there's a lot of stuff like that. It's like when you see like a big boss character clipping through the wall that you're about to open.
That's good.
Like there's a sword that's like twice the size of your body and it's poking through that door. You're like, oh.
Interesting.
I was thinking of that because I was playing Returnal.
Oh, that game's cool.
I opened a door and then left the door without going all the way in, and then I started seeing these tentacles coming through, and I was like, well, uh-oh.
How about an opening cutscene that's just too in love with its own writing?
Oh.
Yeah.
That makes me very anxious about this game. Yeah.
Can you think of a game in general that just had writing? Like writing I'm assuming it's like writing that's like too punchy, too cutesy. Is that what you're talking about?
There's a lot of that. That's most Treehouse games for me. It's just a little too cutesy.
Yeah, up in the treehouse. They got nothing else to do, man.
I don't know if this is getting too far afield, but I recently actually backed a Kickstarter where it's like an involved, amazing narrative or whatever is one of the main bullet points that they put in there, but then the whole Kickstarter is really poorly written and riddled with typos and stuff.
It's weird stuff.
You know what
dude.
you're getting into. I backed it anyway.
You want that involved story.
I got to find out what it is.
I don't necessarily have this exact kind of experience corporeally in real life where I feel some sort of a cramp. I occasionally get this feeling in the bottom of my foot, which I have been told it sounds like plantar fasciitis, and then it will just kind of seize up the whole like arch of the foot for like a minute or so. But I get it very rarely, so I'm assuming that's
yeah, it's probably something like that.
Probably something like that. Yeah. I
guess another one that I could think of is when you're in a game that has glitched out and lost your save before, and then it stutters.
Oh no! Yes.
And you're like, oh man, something's going on. You very quickly are like, how can I save this right now before this all goes south?
It's very valid. I was thinking about Celeste, like when you run out of stamina and your hair starts blinking, you slowly start sliding down the wall.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I was going to say, because I mean, I've been playing a lot of Gran Turismo here. It's my nighttime video game. I play Gran Turismo or F1 2021 over here at night before I go to bed. Just do a couple laps on something. Micro decisions cascade, and eventually you realize like a whole like 5 seconds ahead of time. Like, yeah, I might crash up at this next turn, right? But I by thinking about this, I just kind of realized racing video games aren't really video games. I think they're a slightly different category, like these more realistic racing games. It's weird. I feel weird calling Gran Turismo a video game. It's kind of a neat thing to suddenly accidentally think in the middle of talking about this. I don't really think of it as a video game.
Is there a way in Gran Turismo to only have the good music and not have the bad music? Is that possible?
I was just talking about this on a podcast.
Oh, really?
Earlier today. Yeah, I was like, I want to turn off the really bad stuff, and I just want to hear the weird stuff that the old dudes record at the Polyphony Digital in-house beautiful analog recording studio. I just want to hear that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear... there's some really bad sounding rock music in there.
Yes, it's abhorrent.
My days of thinking I might someday be a music critic have all just disappeared behind me. But I'm pretty sure that music doesn't get the seal of approval, would not get a seal of approval from anyone living or dead. Some of that stuff is bad.
Yeah.
And it made me just want to... I ended up turning the music off, the in-race music. I love the menu music, but are you playing Gran Turismo 7?
Well, so I don't even have the game. I was trying to listen to the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like vacillating so wildly between stuff that was just abjectly terrible and stuff that was fantastic. And
I think there should just be a genre picker, man. Let me pick a genre.
Give me a vibe select.
Let me just choose jazz and fusion.
100%.
Those two, and then rock or pop or whatever they call any of that other stuff. I mean, it is some real, like, I worked at a Target store in the 1990s.
Yeah.
Sometimes CDs were $6. The guy at the electronics department would have to put one on. I drove a car to school. I know what the music sounded like. I heard the worst of it. I heard songs from the middles of the albums, that you hear the singles of on the radio. And this Gran Turismo 7, some of this stuff is unimaginably worse. I heard the entirety of Buck Cherry's album.
Oh, cool.
Their eponymous debut.
White Town.
Yeah, the one with Lit Up. I Love the Cocaine. I heard the tracks from the middle of that album, and Gran Turismo 7 is trying its best to do the worst versus that. And I think, number one, you could respect it at a certain time of day, though certainly not that nighttime sort of day.
No, not when you want to.
In which I find myself playing the video game before bed. So now I turned it off, and I'm like, I can hear the gears better. I can hear the car better. So it's like I shift more in a more timely fashion. So I think maybe it's maybe I just play better with the. I have noticed my performance has gone way up. With the music off anyway, but
probably because you aren't spending part of your brain hating the music also.
Exactly. There's that. But if I could have just the fusion, I would
great.
be, I feel like just the fusion, please, should be one of the checkboxes in the assists.
That's an accessibility option as far as I'm concerned.
It's just the good music, because the good music is so good, dude.
It is good.
And the menu music is fantastic universally. They've got all these weird classical remixes that are just chill as heck. It's the only video game I know of that you can just use like a Spotify playlist. You just let it sit there in your living room and it just starts showing you stuff. It has like a screensaver. It'll like randomly generate races and just have like cars going in replays, and it's really wonderful. It's such a package.
It's time to go on to our lightning round.
Is it about Gran Turismo 7? That's a joke.
It is about going fast.
Excellent.
This game is called The Time is Right. I'm going to name a competitive speedrunning category and its associated parameter. Your goal is to guess as close as possible to the current world record time for that category without going over. Whoever gets the closest to each game wins the point. Your first game is Super Mario 64, the 70-star category.
Oh, God. Isn't it something like 16 seconds?
No.
70 stars?
70 star category is...
I'm going to go 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, I'm going an hour and 13.
Tim is our winner at 16 seconds because it's 46 minutes and 58 seconds set by
Price
Luigi.
is right. Price is right. I basically bid $1 there. There is a Mario speedrun that is less than like 10, like it's less than like 30 seconds, but it's not.
It's the 0-star one.
Yeah, it's the 0-star one. Yeah, where they glitch through the wall.
Your next game is Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, Glitchless.
Oh, Glitchless. That whole game is a glitch, according to me. It's a get-owned Bennett Foddy.
Dang.
Street Fighter Punch sound effect. Getting over it glitchless, it's probably something like, I'm going to guess 1 minute and 24 seconds.
Okay.
That's my guess. Just being as specific as I can.
I'm gonna guess 5 minutes.
I haven't seen the game enough to. I assume that it is like theoretically you get on top of the mountain pretty quick if you're perfect somehow, right? Like that's
Yeah.
Okay. I will go 4 minutes flat.
You're all over. It's 1 minute, 1 second, and 896 milliseconds set by
interesting.
Last Bolt.
Nice.
I don't know why I didn't just bid $1 there.
Yeah, I should have bid $1.
Okay.
A glitchless is a weird category for that.
The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. No major glitches.
No major glitches.
Does it have any Majora glitches?
That's a later game.
Oh, no Majora glitches. How glitchy is Majora?
All right, I'm gonna go 52 minutes flat.
52 minutes flat. That's a pretty good guess. Pretty good guess. I'm gonna do 52 minutes and 1 second. I'm just kidding. The Price is Right. Such a flawed game design.
25 minutes.
25 minutes. No major glitches. Crike. I'm gonna say 36 minutes because we get a nice spread between the three of us.
Frank gets that one. It's 1 hour and 23 minutes by Arior.
Which sounds pleasant.
Our next game is Cuphead on Expert.
0 seconds because nobody would care to play it because it sucks.
I'm logging your guess at 0 seconds.
No. Cuphead on Expert. I'll say 12 minutes. Give it 12.
Wow.
The length of like the worst possible Looney Tunes short.
I'm gonna say
It'd be
38.
like 12 minutes.
38 minutes.
You're gonna go 38. I've seen the Mexican runner do this, and I want to say it was in the 40 to 50 range. I mean, 45.
45.
33 minutes by Jason 2890. So Tim gets that one again.
I was really
12
close.
minutes.
You were close.
Wait, I thought you said whoever gets the close. Oh, you said whoever gets the closest without going over. Yeah, got it.
Your next game is Super Metroid, Any Percent.
Any percent.
28.
God,
minutes.
7 minutes.
Any percent. Does that include like forced game end? I guess it does. So I'm gonna go down to 1 second.
That's 27 minutes by
Dang it.
Zost. Frank just went over. Tim's our winner for that one.
Wow, weird. Zost?
Yeah.
I feel like I saw a run of that was like a few minutes. It was like 7 minutes or something. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to speedrun stuff. I think it's cool, but I don't really pay attention to it. I'm sorry.
Well, you are in the lead, so you pay some attention.
I guess, yeah.
And I watch every GDQ, and I think in last place. So.
I only watch tool-assisted speedruns, so that's why I'm basing my stuff off weird information.
Stardew Valley, Marry Shane.
2 hours.
1 hour.
45 minutes.
You're all over. It's 40 minutes and 42 seconds by The Habu.
Crack smoking daddy.
I'm playing this wrong.
Yeah.
Like if I'm playing proper Price is Right, I'm doing the adult, but I'm trying to be close, which is
Yeah.
it's a flawed game.
The Razor's Edge.
I want to be challenged.
Yeah.
I don't want to just skirt the rules. I
The
hate.
Price is Right is a flawed game. This is a flawed game, and that's why we're having a good time.
I might be in the lead if it was closest. Period. Just saying.
You might be. Sonic Adventure Deluxe, All Story.
Oh God.
All stories. So that means like doing Big the Cat and stuff.
God, you gotta love Big the Cat. I'm gonna say 32 minutes.
Wow.
Just off the top of my head. Wait, or am I? I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff.
I'm gonna say an hour 45.
I don't know any of this stuff.
Okay, I was gonna go 45.
No, I'm gonna say 25. No, I don't know. Wait, what did you
already
say?
said 32. You're committed.
How am I committed? I just okay.
Frank is closest. It's 1 hour and 32 minutes. So Brandon, you just went over.
Heck,
Sounds like a real snoozer of an hour and 32 minutes. No offense.
Not the best way to spend it.
I'm just kidding. That game's alright.
Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest.
Yeah.
True ending.
True ending.
Yes.
So that's the 102% ending where you get the whole thing. Oh god.
That just means getting all the secret areas, right? I didn't play 2. I only played 1. So I'm gonna base it on 1, and 1 had the 101% thing.
Yeah, the stupid 101. Yeah.
All right, I'll start us off at 1 hour, Bob.
35 minutes.
38 minutes.
Tim is correct. It's 36 minutes, 31 seconds by Void.
Shoot.
38 always fails me so far.
Kurt Schilling, The Curse of Kingdoms of Amalur.
Yeah.
38 Studios.
Dark Souls Remastered, Any Percent.
Oh, it's probably something absolutely bonko.
Yeah.
I'm not doing first this time.
Well, I recently saw that there's an Elden Ring speed record that is... I'm not going to say what the Elden Ring... I mean, I saw it. I'm not going to say it. I want Brandon to guess first, then I'll say what the Elden Ring speed record is and base my answer on that.
Okay, I'm going to say 2 hours. No, 2 hours, 30 minutes. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, so the Elden Ring speed record... Wait, what did Frank say?
He said nothing.
I just said that I'm not going first, so I'll go second if you need me to. I'll go 12 minutes.
Oh, this is 12 minutes? Well, the Elden Ring speed record is 28 minutes, so I feel like Elden Ring as a bigger game is more prone to having jankier little holes that can be poked in it. I mean, somebody beat Elden Ring in 28 minutes this week, in case you all didn't know that. The famous 80-hour video game has been whittled down to 28 minutes.
Yeah, I guess actually any percent means you can just go straight to the boss, so my answer is going to be wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that I feel like Dark Souls being a smaller game, a decidedly smaller game in scope, is less prone to holes, but that From Software makes games of similar densities, so I'm going to round it up to 34 minutes.
Frank is correct. It's 19 minutes and 31 seconds by
Wow.
Alt-F4 JP4.
Well, that's impressive.
Just assumed it would have fewer holes in it.
Okay, right now the score is Tim 4, Frank 3, Brandon 0, going into our last category.
Nice. I think I'm going to win this.
I have seen a speedrun of Dark Souls, and I believe it's clipping through areas is kind of the main thing.
Oh, yeah. Poke it full of holes.
Your game is Minesweeper Expert Mode, no RNG.
Minesweeper Expert Mode?
26 seconds.
What'd you say, Brandon?
26 seconds.
Okay.
I'm going to go 1 second.
Tim?
1 second? No RNG manipulation, 26 seconds, 1 second?
Oh, wait, no, I screwed up. I forgot the rules of this game. Never mind. Whatever. 1 second.
1 second? I'm going to say 38 seconds.
Brandon, you got it exactly right.
That's what I'm talking about.
The score is 26 seconds. What I failed to say was that if you got the score exactly correct to the millisecond, that's worth 5 points. So, Brandon, you are our winner. Congratulations.
Oh, that's nonsense.
There we go.
All right. Does anyone have anything to recommend?
Oh, jeez. I feel like I did, but I forgot. I've been watching this movie called My Kung Fu Sweetheart.
Been watching a movie just like a minute at a time?
I've watched it across 3 nights so far, yeah, even though it's an hour and 45 minutes. But it's pretty fun, and it's really stupid. It's got like bad acting, pretty bad kung fu in it. But it's like about this lady who her parents are kung fu masters, but then her mom gave it up and her dad's still doing it, but he works at the zoo giving people toilet paper, and she gets employed at a company that's trying to be taken over by a guy called White Eyebrows, who's also a kung fu master, and he's
Pretty
trying
good.
to kill everybody. And then her dad gives her an eagle for her birthday, which is just a man in a bird costume.
God, that rules.
It's just so chock full of nonsense all the time, but it's weirdly subdued. It's clearly jokes. Like they're making funny jokes, but it's so like understated while also having a person in a bird costume. I recommend it. Give it a look. And also the main character is slurring her words together the entire thing. Like, I don't know if she what was going on with her, but she's just like it's a weird one. So yeah, My Kung Fu Sweetheart, that's my recommendation for the week.
MKFS. My Kung Fu Sweetheart. When did this movie come out? What's the year for it?
The year of 2006.
Oh, My Kung Fu Sweetheart.
Yeah, it stars Cecilia somebody.
Oh, movie looks wild.
Yeah, it's got some stuff in it.
Yeah, I think Jerry's ready for that one. What are you watching it on? Fandango?
I'm watching it on a DVD that I bought at the record store for $3.
Nice.
Was it at the Fandango record store?
Yeah, it was at the Fandango record store.
It's always fun getting a movie at a weird place and then putting it on and being like, oh, I guess I'll watch the rest of this somehow.
Yeah. You know, I go and I buy the worst nonsense that I can find at used stores, and maybe 1 out of 50 is any good. But when you find the 1 out of 50 that's fun, it's like, what a delight.
When you wake up wanting to be the guy who finds the diamond in the rough, you're going home you're going to bed with a stomach full of rough, basically.
That's
true.
That's
how it goes,
true.
right?
That is what happens.
I recommend listening to fanbite.com has a podcast called You Love to See It. that I was on. I recorded an episode of it today. It will already be out at the time. It's the most recent episode available as of the time you are first able to listen to this. It is an episode about, we reviewed the most recent season of F1 Drive to Survive. So if you'd like to hear me talk about F1,
I watched that,
for
by the way.
like 2.5 hours or so. It's on there. It's me talking a lot. I'm sure a lot of people right now are wondering, like trepidatiously, if at any point during those 2 and some hours, do I say anything nice about Max Verstappen? The answer is, don't worry, no, we do not. We do not. So don't worry about that. We only talk about the good boys and the good guys. And you just, tune in for that if you like F1, if you don't like F1. Also, if you find yourself watching F1 Drive to Survive and you like it, you should do what I do, which is subscribe to a year of the F1 TV app. I've got it on my Apple TV, and it has all the races.
How many monies does that cost?
It's like $60, dude.
Okay.
You get all the races, all the practice sessions. They archive everything. You can watch all the races from recent years, uncut. It even has a little menu you can pop out on your Apple TV or whatever device you're watching it on. I'm sure it's on several devices. And I can slide it out, and I can just pick an angle. I can watch the pit crew angle. I can watch just the race map, the course map, the tracker. It's quite a wonderful experience. If you want to get into F1, you can talk about it like a pro, like I did on that podcast today. If you just get that app, and then that's what I put on instead of buying 50 DVDs. I just put the F1 on during the day and let it roll.
Perhaps against my prior feelings, I kind of want Bottas to beat George Wallace in races.
I like Bottas. I like that guy.
He's Finnish as heck.
George Wallace. There's stuff we don't know about. Obviously, that I feel like Drive to Survive. You can hear more about my opinions about this on that episode of that podcast. I would recommend that. I feel like that episode, or this new season, was much more manufactured. Like sure. when Toto Wolff takes George Wallace out and tells him, just going to let you know, next year you're driving for us at Mercedes. It's like they clearly had that conversation elsewhere first, sure. And then we're having it again. There was a very undeniable element of coachedness to it that was felt very strange and fake, and I was upset. Yeah. And I thought that's strange. But I mean, there's stuff we don't know. I mean, they have these numbers. Like, they knew Max Verstappen was going to be a champion. Red Bull knew that, right? That's why Daniel Ricciardo was. They had numbers. They've got biometrics, right? They've got all this stuff.
They also had a better car. I do kind of like that right now Honda has the best engines in F1. That's kind of fun for me.
Well, Constructors' Championship, Mercedes did win. So
it's true.
It's true,
but that's arguably better driving than versus a better car.
Let's put it this way. The Red Bull car has a Red Bull logo. I love Red Bull. But the Mercedes car has an AMD logo on it. I love AMD.
That's right.
So however, the Mercedes car also does have a Tommy Hilfiger logo, which is a real shame.
Yeah.
So that's all I can say about my potential endorsement deals. No Tommy Hilfiger for this guy right here. The end. Don't ask me anymore.
Frank, you got any stuff?
Yeah, just a quick one. I needed something to play that wasn't Elden Ring, something a little more relaxing to accompany it. And I went and got Skunk Ape, which is kind of a small group of former Telltale folks, recently bought back the rights to the Sam and Max series that they did over there.
Oh, that's cool.
And they quote unquote remastered them, but it's one of those. It's much like my Resident Evil 4 HD recommendation. It's like it's the same game. They just tweaked it a little bit, and in this case, this is a 2005, I think, even at the time, kind of janky looking 3D point and click adventure. But man, you just add some of that good lighting to it. Looks fantastic. Doesn't make any sense, but yeah, lots of nice little quality of life stuff. Runs at that full frame rate. 120 frames a second, or probably higher if you got that. I don't.
I love that 120.
But beyond all that, just re-examining these games, 17 years later or whatever, they're good little games. They're good little bedtime games that you can play in like an hour and a half or 2 hours and just complete the game because they're little episodic guys.
Skunk Ape?
I believe it's Skunk Ape. Is that right?
You're talking about the developer name, not the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking them up.
I've got a couple recommendations. I'd like to recommend, first of all, that Frank Cifaldi should watch Star Wars Return of the Jedi. It's a good movie. You should watch it. Come on.
Games.
It's okay.
That's a horrible name.
Return of the Jedi.
Whatever.
I need to watch Return of the Jedi? Right?
Yeah, that's my recommendation.
You absolutely don't.
You totally do.
You need to watch it before you watch the Book of Boba Fett, apparently.
I did watch the Book of Boba Fett. It was fine. I didn't need.
Did you know?
Plenty of flashbacks. And you know what? When you watch these shows, what you're supposed to do is go on YouTube and watch the guy who's like, here's all the stuff that you'd missed or you didn't know about from that. And then you watch that for like 15 minutes and you're like, all right, got it. So.
Oh, that makes sense.
I got all I need about that Boba Fett. Not only what happened in the Return of the Jedi, but
you're only saying that because you have not watched Return of the Jedi.
What happened in the Marvel comics, not the old ones that are no longer canon, but the current ones. That all ties into the show too. And had that explained to me on the YouTube very nicely, much nicer than watching the movie, I'm sure.
No,
I gotta say that Return of the Jedi has a heck of a structure to it.
Yeah,
the first.
I'll get to it.
The first act is
strange.
I gotta tell you something. Watching it as a 40-year-old, you're going to be like, that was fine. That's what's going to happen.
That is my reaction to everything with Star Wars in the name.
Yeah.
So that's what it'll be.
Oh, that's not true. I tried to watch episode 1 recently.
Oh, no, that was pod racing.
I couldn't finish it.
That was pod racing.
We should give yousa unna bongo. Jar Jar, we make you Bombad General.
I came into that movie, like, this was like last week, I think. I was just like, I'm going to put on episode 1. What's the worst that could happen? And I came into it ready to rebel and like the character Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was ready to just be that guy. And I was like, I hate this character.
It's very incredible. It's incredible how bad he is. He's just irredeemable. Like they cut in a scene of him doing something quote unquote funny, like something that like a deep learning AI like circa 2005 would call funny, like every like 30 seconds for like a whole 10-minute stretch of the movie right there during the introducing Anakin Skywalker part. I have too much to say about episode 1. I've seen it a lot of times because it's a heck of a thing for testing a sound system. If you ever set up a Dolby Atmos system in your house, Frank, I don't know if you have one. The pod racing scene is a very good way to test it. It's in Dolby Atmos on Disney Plus, and you can get that upward firing speakers and the rear firing speakers. It sounds really neat. Otherwise, a hateful film, a disgusting movie.
Yeah, that's not my recommendation. My recommendation is Return of the Jedi. I also would like to recommend that if you're listening to this show on any platform where you can subscribe to podcasts, that you engage with us in that way to keep the algorithms pushing us upwards. You can go to patreon.com/insertcredit, where you can become a patron to submit your own topics, listen to monthly bonus episodes, and get other exclusive content. You can also join us on forums.insertcredit.com and follow us on social media for our own personal updates and projects. The show is at twitter.com/credit. I am at twitter.com/AlexJaffe. Brandon is at twitter.com/necrosoft. Frank is at twitter.com/FrankCifaldi. And Tim is at youtube.com/actionbutton. This show is edited by Esper Quinn, with music by Kurt Feldman. I'm Alex Jaffe.
I'm Frank Cifaldi.
I'm Tim Rogers.
I'm Brandon Sheffield.
And I'm afraid the deflector shield will be quite operational when your friends arrive.
Oh, very good. Yes.
That's a quote from Return
of the Jedi.
Yeah, I understood that it was.
Yeah, very good.
You're really going to convince Frank with that line.
Yeah,
That's
very
going to bring him around.
He's going to go running.
That classic George Lucas dialogue.